and hit recording in progress. So hello, everyone. This is Lynn Hamilton, your lead instructor over at Samson University. And in this session, we're going to be talking about the magic of QR codes. And I want to make sure that all of you know how to use a QR code, where you can use a QR code, some do's and don'ts on using a QR code. I just did the other day a mini video on the step-by-step instructions to how to create a QR code through QR Code Monkey, including changing the color palettes of it, including adding clip art into it or a photo into it. So I tried to make it very simple. If you've never done a QR code before, what I'm going to ask you to do is do me a favor, if you would, go over to my website, which is lynnhamilton.samsonproperties.net. One of the tabs, this is Agent Resource Center. When you click on that, there's a tab that'll drop down. You want to go to Listen and Learn. That is where I try to post all of these videos that I do from our Zoom sessions here up there for quick and easy reference and access for you guys. So I do have one there of how to do a QR code. I think it's there, but I also think it's on the how-to. I'll have to go back and look, but it's one of the two places. But anyway, if you would be so kind to take a peek at it and then let me know, if it makes sense. And if I've left out anything major on it, because if need be, I can go back and re-record it if necessary. So I can make sure that you guys got easy access to the tips and the tools in case I'm either driving, teaching, on the road, goofing off, which is not very often. But I want to make sure that you guys have access to the how-tos and the listen and learns when I'm not immediately available for you at the time slot that you're needing to dive into it. So if you'd be so kind to do that and then give me some feedback, let me know if it's okay or not, then we will go from there. All right, so let's talk about QR codes. First off, QR code stands for quick response. In case you didn't know that, now you do. So you learn something new every day. So QR is basically just a quick response. It is designed to take of the scanning of the QR code, we saw that little pixel picture, is to take you someplace. So here's some basic do's and don'ts. If you are going to use a QR code and going to take them to something on your website, you want to take them directly to wherever you're wanting them to go, not just generically to the website to search around to figure out what they want or where they were supposed to be going or what they were supposed to be looking for. Case in point. Excuse me. So if you are wanting to take them directly to your testimonial page, that can be done. You go to the testimonial page on your website, and the URL that's in the box up top is obviously your website, and there's usually a slash or a dash, and then testimonial or whatever specific page it's on. So you would create a QR code for going to the testimonial page of your website. When you do that, my preference is to have your photo in the middle of that QR code. And then when you save it and label it as testimonial page. Because your brains are good, but they're not that good. When you start having 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 QR codes, you ain't going to remember which one went to which page exactly. So more than likely, that is where I would say you can start. Another one would be to your blog. And again, go to your website. Hopefully you have activated your blog. Again, remember, your blog will not show up until you have made your first post. Once the first post has been made, then on your website where it says your agent and it drops down, it's got some options there. One of them is testimonial. Then the one after that is going to be blog. That's where it'll show up. So you click on the blog. The URL is going to be your website slash. It may be your agent slash blog, whatever it is. You grab that entire link, create a QR code, different color gradient, solid color gradient. Doesn't make any difference. And then when you save it as blog. Now, let me pause there for a minute. What I recommend is if you are wanting, obviously, to create a QR code that's going to go directly to your blog, go into a program called Pixabay. I'm going to put it in the chat box for you. It is Pixabay. Yes, Pixabay.com. Pixabay is, and again, there's other platforms as well. Pixabay just happens to be the one that I got introduced to. It is idiot proof for my brain, and it's real easy to use. What you are looking for is royalty-free images. Do not, let me repeat, do not go to Google Images and pull up a Google image that says blog, because it is not going to end well. Those are not royalty free, and whoever had that photo, created that photo, can come back after you. So rule number one, always, always, always use a royalty free image. Again, there's several platforms. Pixabay just happens to be one that is my default and go to. All right, so you'll go into Pixabay.com. It's got a search box. You just type in what you're looking for. So let's say you're wanting a blog. You just type in the word blog. It's going to come up with the first couple that'll show up are ones you have to pay for. Nah, you don't need to do that. Scroll down. There will be thousands of royalty-free images for a blog that you can save and use. Easy as that. So once you find the one you like, you just click on it. It's going to ask you to download it. Just follow the prompts. It is real easy. It's like saving any other picture. Save it. Now, what I've done is, and again, I see agents sometimes in their desktops, and they're a disaster. I don't know how you ever find anything. So organize your files as you go. So in the photos, new folder, I create a new folder and I label it QR codes. So there, I would save my QR codes, or I would save all my royalty-free images in a royalty-free image file. I got a ton of them. So I'm now ready. I now got my blog royalty-free image at the ready, saved on my computer. My favorite for QR codes, and again, I'll go ahead and type it in the chat box for you, is QR code-monkey.com. Okay, QR code-monkey.com. Again, there are other platforms out there. This just happens to be the one that I know about. I know how to use it. It is, I'm going to say, Lynn proof. It allows you to create different color images. It allows you to add a photo in the middle. It allows you to change the intensity of the design. So it can be heavy lines, it can be light lines, it can be little stars in the background, whatever. So you have some options there. So again, that's just my go-to default. I've got no skin in the game on either one of these, but it's just the one that I reference for ease of use. So you've decided you're going to create a QR code. You want it to go to your blog. You've made sure that you have activated and started a blog post from your Bold Trail / KV Core platform. If you don't know how to do that, let me know. I think I've got instructions how to do that If not, I will be doing that. Create that page, easy breezy, easy breezy. Once it is done, it will show up on your website. Go to your website, go to the page of the blog, grab that entire URL, and then open up qrcodemonkey.com. Once you are in qrcodemonkey.com, it will have a space for URL. That's where you paste the URL that you're wanting that QR code to go to. Easy as can be. Drop it in there. Next option down, what color do you want? Do you want it one color? Do you want it color gradient? So do you want it to go from a blue to a green, or a blue to a red, or a purple to a pink, or whatever color combination you want? And then it lets you see it. Now the next box down, it asks if you want to insert a picture. Just like any other platform, you put the insert photo, you pick the photo, the one that said blog that you just saved, drop it in there. Okay, got that done. Down on the instructions, you pick your design of the QR code itself, play around with it a little bit, and then you will click Create QR Code. That little button, Create QR Code, is off to the right side of the screen. It lets you see what it is going to look like. If you don't like it, or don't like how the colors have flowed, or the intensity of the QR code itself, you can change it at that point. Create QR code, and it'll freshen up and let you see the new version. Once you say, okay, I like it, I like the way it looks, I'm happy with that, that is when you download it, and then you save it onto your computer so you've got it for reference moving forward. Easy as that. All right. Again, if you are really stumped and can't figure that out, again, double check to see if I have how-to instructions. If not, shoot me an email and I'll see if we can walk you through it. But I'm trying to make everything as easy and quickly obtainable at all ungodly hours for you. So that if you're having a sleepless night and are up at 11 o'clock at night and you want to do that and you get stumped, you got a place you can go get some step-by-step instructions. Denise said it is super easy even for her. Yes, me too. So there you go. And once you get started on it, it is like, oh my God, this is so much friggin' fun. There you go. You want to create QR codes for everything. So I would have one that went generically to your website. I would have one created that would go to your testimonial page using your photo in the middle of that QR code. I would have one created for the blog that will go directly to the blog page now, or anything else you want to go after that point. The one thing you never want to do, in my belief, and I've read several articles on this as well, is you do not want to just have a QR code all by itself. People do not know where it is taking them and to what page for what. They're going to be a little apprehensive and they're not going to click on it. So when you have the QR code, but then in font by it somewhere, scan QR code for my website testimonial page. Scan QR code to enjoy my weekly blog. So be specific with your verbiage of where it is taking them and what they are going to see once they get there. That is your best, your safest, and easiest way to go on that. Now, add in your notes. Once you have created that QR code and it's now on your screen and you're saving it, I always grab my phone, hold it up, scan it, and check it. You want to make sure it is working before you start utilizing it. Don't ask. Yes, agents have done that. They did not check it. They somehow missed a step or something. It was not connected completely and properly. They did a massive mailer of stuff with a QR code on it that was dead. It was a dead link. So do not do that. So from there, that is your do's and your don'ts of utilizing the basic QR code. Now, once you've got them, literally, it will take you about 2 minutes to create a QR code. And then you've got them and you can use them in one of a million ways. One of the ways that you can use it as well is on your newsletter. Now, do all of you know that Samson provides you a 2-page grab and go newsletter? Some of you may be brand new. Again, one of the most amazing tools that we have, and I love it. You can actually embed a QR code right into that newsletter. When you're adding your photo, you're adding your name, you're adding your phone number, your email, your website, or you, instead of website, you just say scan QR code to go directly to my website. There's just so many. My little brain's going, ba-chikoom, 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 ba-chikoom. Okay, so that funny sound you're hearing is that. Once you get going on it, you're going to be amazed at how many ways you can use QR codes. Now, I will tell you a little secret. All right, so I've been teaching QR codes. I found about QR Code Monkey. No, they do not expire. Good question. And no, you should not be paying for them. You do not pay for a QR code. They do not expire. And you don't need to pay for analytics. Sometimes you'll get a pop-up for, paying for analytics. No, you do not need analytics to pay for it. Free. I have checked. All of you have a budget for free. I like free. All right. So my little story was I was teaching QR codes. I was teaching how to use them, blah, 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 blah. I am doing all these classes throughout our footprint. I was wanting to add agents that I had met into my database to, see if they wanted to stay in touch, if they wanted additional support from me, how I could help them. And then all of a sudden one day I had this aha moment. I figured out if I put a QR code and tagged it specifically for those attending a specific class, and they scanned the QR code themselves and filled out the little population form that popped up that I had it all set to do, it would save me about an hour to an hour and a half after class where I didn't have to retype or try to read their writing and their email addresses in a sign-in sheet. So if you've been to any of my stuff lately, you know that most of the time, the first slide is sign in with the QR code. That was my aha. It made my life so much easier and a lot more fun. Now, yes, your kvCORE/Bold Trails website, you can retrieve a QR code from there as well. Okay. It does not, you do not have the option to make it cute. You can't put a photo in the middle. You can't color gradate it. You can't color change it. It's just, the typical black and white. So, but that is certainly an option as well. But again, I think it only goes just to your website. I don't know if it, kvCORE died. It is called Bold Trails. Yes, it is. So, just quick backstory on that. kvCORE has been out for several years. It is produced by and managed by a company called Inside Real Estate. They had kvCORE, they had Boomtown, they had a couple of other platforms that got, sold out to different brokerages. They were getting a lot of pushback that KV Core was not user friendly. It wasn't appealing. It was this, it was that, it was whatever, whatever, whatever. So then Lofty came along and started kind of taking over a good chunk of the market as well. So KV Core for the last year has been working on redeveloping the KV Core. They've obviously changed its name to Bold Trails. Frankly, I love it. I got, because I have an administrative account, I got early access to it. It was easier on the eyes. It was nicer to look at. It has some new things in there. We're still learning all the extra bells and whistles, but I'm liking what I'm seeing within Bold Trails now. So just know there's a lot of neat little tools in there that we will be exploring for the rest of our real estate life. So when I reference KV Core, I try to catch myself and say KV Core / Bold Trails. Eventually, we'll drop off the KV Core part, but for right now, since some don't realize it has rolled over, we're trying to use the two names side by side. Okay. All right. So you know now how to pull from Pixabay a royalty-free image. You know that QR code monkey.com, you can go in and create a QR code that will allow you to color gradiate it if you want. It will allow you to add a photo in the middle. It will allow you to change the look of the QR code itself a little bit, and you can kind of preview it before you actually download it and save it. Save them in a folder, mark them to what page it is going to, what it is for. That is the general overview on it. Always double check, make sure that they are working correctly before you start using them and you are off and running. So you can use them in your buyer and seller consultation. You send it to your testimonial page, include that in there. You can have it a general QR code that can go onto your newsletter that would maybe direct them to your blog. You really want to impress the heck out of somebody when you're doing a listing presentation. Could you imagine walking in for a listing consultation and already having prepped a page? You've created a QR code through QR Code Monkey with their picture of their house, because you've done a drive-by. You've dropped a picture of their house in the middle of the QR code. And in the presentation, you say, grab your phone and scan this QR code. And it takes them either to your website where there's a page where their property is featured, or you've gone above and beyond and you've actually purchased for probably $1.99 the property address of 123 Cardinal Way, which is their property address, and you've created the QR code connected to that domain. Now, have them scan it and it goes directly to a page featuring their property. That will create a wow from the get-go. Now, I mentioned that sometimes you can buy probably $1.99. I looked up a bunch the other day. They were all $1.99. You only need it for 1 year. So you're getting the property address as a URL. So you're buying it through GoDaddy or whichever platform you're using. Now, somebody said, okay, but what if you don't get the listing, but they tell the other agent about this, you having a URL for their property address? And I said, no skin off your nose, cost you $1.99 or whatever it was. I said, but yeah, I don't care. Because if Kevin is coming in behind me to interview with Karen to try to get the listing, And he says, oh, I can do that too. I own the URL at 123 Cardinal Way, which is Karen's address. Kevin goes to get it. He can't get it because I own it already. Nanner, nanner. He can't get it. I've got it. So there you go.
Watch me.
Excuse me. Kevin's laughing. So again, you want to create that wow factor. You want to create that cutting edge. You want to create that unique, something different. Try that one on. Again, all it takes is just a couple of minutes to do that and create that. Even if it's just a page on your website, which you can easily do, create a QR code that takes them directly to that page and have the consumer. Hey, Karen, before we get into this much further, grab your phone. I want you to scan this QR code and see what pops up. And it's a feature of her house that I did drive-by on. And then I just have basic information in there. And I then have a little disclosure that says property is not currently listed. It is, this is for example purposes only. And there you go. And if it doesn't list, you delete it out. Okay. So again, you're selling the wow factor. You're selling the tools that you have, the creativity that you have. You're knocking it out of the park, and you're using a free QR code. All right. Now, let's chat further. Where else could you see yourself using a QR code? Either raise your hand, drop it in the chat box. Who has used QR codes for something other than what we've just shared? Anybody?
Lynn?
Yeah. Hey, Pat.
I've used it on the back of postcards.
Absolutely. Okay. And where did you have the QR code taking them to?
My website.
Website.
Yeah.
Perfect. 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 Good job. Okay. Nathan, I see that you also have your hand up. Where have you used and how have you used a QR code?
Well, I want to say I want to use in the open house. Open house is one great application. One of my earlier mentors, told me like you could use that. Open house, that way somebody who comes, they can just scan that and then it'll take them to the site. They can fill out their information and whatnot.
Absolutely. 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 And on open houses, again, you can use it for sign-in purposes. I would use it. I would also still use the survey that I share in the open house class that I recorded. It's up on Samson University on my page. Because again, once they start writing, and again, everybody's got an opinion. There's an old saying, everybody's got one. Yeah, and one of them is an opinion. Once they give their opinion, then they're more apt to finish writing and putting their information on there, because again, they're going to be entered into a drawing for just a couple little inexpensive gift cards at the end of the day. There you go. Okay.
How about on riders or your signs?
Yes, you can. Absolutely. You can put a QR code on, let's say you've done a single page website or a page that has information about the property that's connected on your website. You absolutely can use a QR code on a rider. There is a question that popped up is, can they be reused? Once you have them, you can use them forever on different things, but you cannot change, I don't believe, where it's going to, if that makes sense. So you can't reuse them in that aspect. But again, they're free. You can get as many as you want. I probably, on my computer, which I need to clean off, I probably have 30 or 40 QR codes that I have done with different color combinations and different picture inserts as I've done classes on this, and I just saved them just to walk everybody through it. So I probably have 30 or 40 of them. And so there is no limit. So you don't need to reuse the QR code. That way you just create a new one for a different purpose.
The reason why I asked that question is because if you do put it on a rider,
then are you just taking them to your website and then they have to
Right.
then put in the address to get the page on that particular?
I would take, again, you can get a peel and sticker to go over the QR code from one side to another.
Oh, okay.
So you can't, I know of agents who have done it that way. You want to take them directly to
Yeah.
where you want them to be. You don't want to send them to some place that they then got to figure out where in the hell it's at.
Okay.
So
All
the
right. I was
best
just
thing
trying to
is to
figure out how
take
that
them.
could work on a rider, but the peel and stick makes sense.
Yeah. So you got it, you create it, you got one on there, and then because you can even put something on there, scan QR code, for further pictures of this house or whatever, however you want to word it. And then again, you just have a peel and stick to go over the QR code that's on the rider for the next property.
Okay.
Okay. And then, check what the cost of the riders are. If they're not that much, again, look at your budget and see what your options are. But that is one option that I know agents have run with. Okay. Kevin says you can use them to get to people to your podcast. Absolutely. If you are doing a podcast, if you are doing anything on YouTube, you absolutely can use QR code to drive them to that podcast or that information stuff. If you are doing home buyer workshops, or if you are doing seller workshops, or if you are doing any of your specialty niches where you're going to record something and have it up on YouTube. And again, there's a couple, I figured it out, and I've got a couple of, steps. If you are up against a wall and do not know how or cannot figure it out, let me know. I'll try to squeeze in some time to walk you through it. But again, once you record a Zoom, it's just you can have whatever else you need coming in there. You can upload it into your YouTube account off a Gmail address you've got. Then you save it. You get the link for the YouTube, and you can have that out there as well. So again, there's lots of different ways that it can be run. Definitely on your business card, again, in fine print, be specific with, are they going to just your website, or are they going to your blog on your website? Or property value estimation. There is actually a link. Yes, you can do that as well. There is a link, or there is a page, shall we say, on your Bold Trails website that says estimation of value. You absolutely can create a QR code that takes them directly to that page. Curious as what your home might be worth. This is a guesstimation of value. It is not what I would list. It does not reflect what I would list your property for. There you go. Okay. But that is definitely another idea. Any other ideas of how you can see yourself using a QR code somewhere, somehow in your business? You guys got some good ones there. Okay. All right. That is it in a nutshell. It is as simple as literally just a couple of minutes. Is there a way to use it to register for the database? I believe it can. With Bold Trails, I'm going to say, I'm not going to give you a definite yes, definite no at this moment in time. I use a program that allows me to create a landing page, and I can put various fields and information that I want from the agent, in my case, who's using that QR code to sign in. Will is doing some investigation on that for us. So he is going to be our new king of the Bold Trails of what it can and can't do. I will run this past him as well to make sure that that can be done. All right. But again, if you've got a landing page or a squeeze page, you absolutely can do a QR code that takes them directly to that landing page or that squeeze page. The bottom line is your possibilities can be endless. Your possibilities can absolutely be endless with this. They are simple, they are fun. Color coordinate them, make them stand out and pop. Nothing is worse than a boring black and white QR code with no picture, no gradation of color, no, inside picture in the middle. So have some fun with it. Have some fun with it. And again, once you you go into QR Code Monkey and you start plugging in the information, you say create QR code, it's going to let you see it. If you don't like it, or you want to say, how does this background change if I go to this one, click on it and create QR code again. It's going to refresh it. It has not saved it yet. It has done nothing more than generate the new look based off what you just told it you wanted it to do. So there you go. Yes, absolutely. Karen, interested in becoming a realtor and learning about Samson Properties. Absolutely. You can create a QR code because there is a page on your website that you can fill out a little bit more, answer common questions in there, information in there. Absolutely. Absolutely. So if you are wanting to recruit, or why not? Oh, wait. Oh, this would be a good one. All right. So in Jumpstart Session 3, we talk about your database. And one of the things I share with you, the importance of and the value of having other agents in your database. And sometimes you think, well, why would I want other agents in there? They're my competition. No, they're not. They're your colleagues. If you've got a great agent that you have worked with and you want to invite them to consider and look at what Samson Properties has to offer, you can invite them to a lunch and learn. So on your website, I would create and build out that, why join Samson, with common questions that are asked, and entice them a little bit. Put a testimonial in there about why you joined Samson, because guess what? When our mission statement is, and you've heard me say this a million times over, when your home no longer meets your needs is when people will sell. Gang, it's the same thing for agents. When whatever happens is going to happen and they decide they're no longer happy with where they're at, or they can make more money somewhere else, they're not as intrigued to stay at a 70-30 split or a 60-40 split or an 80-20 split when they can get 100. So utilize, because you know who the good agents are out there. You work with them. So absolutely take advantage of that piece of the puzzle as well. So when create yourself a postcard or a note card with the QR code, put it on a sticker for all I care, and add it to your thank you note that you sent at the end of every transaction to the other agent who you thought was wonderful and did a great job. Include the QR code on there. If you're smart and savvy and you got a home printer, not our big printers here at the office, but you can actually run a note card through your printer at home and print that sucker right on there and say, I would love to share more about Samson Property with you. The day may come that you want to consider a raise or a different brokerage. Scan this QR code and learn just a little bit about what Samson has to offer. Take them directly to that page. Absolutely. And then obviously you've got them tagged in your database as another agent. And when you find out there is going to be a lunch and learn in your area, you retrieve that group and send them the invitation to join you at a lunch and learn, just to find out a little bit about Samson. This may or may not be the right time for you. This may or may not be a good match for you. So you give it, but then you pull it back just a little bit. You're not going for their jugular going, you got to come and learn about what we've got. Would love to share with you a little bit about it. It may or may not be the right time. Would love to share with you, but don't know if it's a right match for you. So you put it out there and pull it back just a smidge. That gets them to come forward and lean into you. Okay. Use the QR code for that as well. Absolutely. All right. Any other thing pops to mind? Okay, I'm scanning through, looking at everyone's picture, seeing who's got what. Kevin, anything you want to add?
Just keep showing up.
Yes, keep showing up. That's a good call. All right, my friends, that is the tips and tricks that I have on my list to share with you of how to use a QR code, how to use it to your advantage, create some wow moments with a consumer, and you should be ready to go. All right, go out, be wonderful,
did
go
you-
create. Yeah, go ahead, Kevin.
Did you mention Tuesday in Stafford?
Oh, yes, quick reminder. The horror stories of the real estate world is coming to the Stafford office. It's the last one we're doing. The horror stories of the real estate world in our Stafford office. I don't care where you're at. If you can go, let me know. RSVP, get in there. We were in Woodbridge the other day, lights off in the conference room, little ghosties flying around the room, me in a witch's hat. We had the time of our life. It has been so much fun. You know, Kevin shares some great horror stories as well. I got a few. And then even in Woodbridge, Mary, our amazing attorney from Cardinal Title, shared a few horror stories as well of stuff. And oh my God, do we have them. So anyway, it's a lot of fun. It's from 10 to 12 up there. And so please, if you can make it up to Stafford, join us on Tuesday, the 29th from 10 to 12 for horror stories of the real estate world. And then what else? Oh, quick reminder, when we were talking about your, sending a link to your blog, I announced it earlier. I'm trying to get messages out to everyone that I've got in my little circle of friends, in partnership with our amazing marketing department, courtesy of Cardinal Title. We have put together now a new resource for you within the Cardinal Nest. Go to resources. In the little search box, type in blog. There is now an entire library of ready to go blog posts for you. Some are just words, some are pictures and words. Go in. There's probably 20 or 30 in there already. I am so excited. A lot of them are articles that were in our newsletter that we were able to grab the individual, have it ready for you to go. Again, the best use of your time is not spending hours writing a blog post. It is not writing a newsletter. Use what we have given you and get out in front of people. Because again, you're sitting at home in your office or at the office in front of a computer. I got a news break for you. That computer that you're staring at is not going to buy a property, is not going to sell a property. You need to be out and about minimum of once a week, face to face with a human being that someday will need to use you and your skills and your ability to buy or sell. So with that, this is why we are so committed or need to be committed. I'm not sure which, to make sure that we're given everything you guys need, handing it over on a silver platter. Okay. All right. Go block off 10 or 15 minutes on your time schedule, either this afternoon or tomorrow, to create some QR codes. Go have some fun. And if you need me, shoot me an email. I will be in the office most of tomorrow, and I will be happy to answer your questions and help you through this. All right, my friends. Appreciate you. Thank you for your time. Go be awesome. Go be wonderful. Go make a difference and go be different. And remember, I don't care what you know. I want to know what you're doing with what you know.
Thank you.
All righty. Thank you,
Thank you,
everyone.
Lynn. Have a great day.
All right. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Bye.
Bye.